This time I'm gonna lay down, come out. This time I'm gonna stand up and shout. I'ma do things my way. It's my way. My way or the highway.
Oh my God.
This time I'ma do things my way. That shit was hard, bro.
Hard.
Let's go. Anything after the alliance means nothing.
Clean.
Means nothing. The alliance, it was the last era to me. And Isaiah, like,
it's such a bold
I know
claim.
you know what I'm saying. You get it. That
I feel
that
it.
energy.
I feel it.
Like, it wasn't the same. After that Raw and SmackDown shit, it didn't mean anything to me. Like, The Rock was on SmackDown.
Yeah, when they started splitting people up.
Raw.
Yeah,
Some people was on Raw, some people was on Smack. It was trash after that. But to me, that alliance shit, bro, that alliance shit was so tough.
During that year, I want to say
that's when I met RVD. That's when I met like certain guys. Like I fell in love like with RVD, with like all these ECW guys that because I was always a WCW and WWF guy. I was never an ECW guy, so I started meeting guys from ECW. So like these ECW guys,
that is true,
crazy.
That is
like,
true.
Those
Yeah,
guys was tough. And then the Dudley Boys, I been knew them, but they were ECW from RIP. So it was like people started like.
They started coming back
kindling
home.
flames and shit. It was so crazy to me. That whole alliance era was beautiful. Stone Cold was the head honcho.
He jumped ship to the alliance.
Yeah, jumped ship.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was WWF. You know, certain guys was WWF. Certain guys was ECW and WCW, which was called the alliance.
Yes.
So when we say alliance, if y'all don't know, I know a lot of y'all do know, but some guys that don't know. The alliance is just the WCW and the ECW combined.
Yes.
And then WWF or WWE, how we call it now, with one team. So it was beautiful, bro.
And they had people jumping back and forth between both teams and stuff like it was cool.
Jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
Triple H was alliance, right?
Nah. At the time, Triple H was injured.
Yeah, so Triple H
he wasn't even there. Nah, he wasn't even in the mix. He was injured.
Because Triple H is one of my favorites, and like Triple H would have made that shit. I know Triple H would have been alliance.
If he was around, he would have jumped to the line. Oh, because Steph, what if Triple H wasn't injured at the time? Since Stephanie McMahon was the owner of ECW at the time, would Triple H would have been on the alliance?
You know what I think? Stone Cold would have never jumped ship,
and Triple H would have been with the alliance.
Stone Cold was. And you know what's funny?
What if?
What's funny?
Pro wrestling. What if, y'all?
Wrestling. What if? Stone Cold would have never jumped ship. Triple H would have been the head of the alliance. But one thing, I'm gonna say something right now. One thing I didn't like about Stone Cold at the alliance, like Stone Cold to me was always like business. Like he didn't play around. He was a bully. He was a badass.
He was a badass to the end.
But the alliance changed him. The alliance made him like some type of funny guy. He was
like some like, scary dude. Not scary dude, but like he was like a punk. Yeah, he was like one of those champions that would hide behind his stable. And that wasn't Austin. Austin was the type to bring it to your doorstep.
It worked for him. It worked out. But I feel like it kind of like took away from him. Like Stone Cold is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like you know Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like he was it. But like when he jumped to the alliance, and I feel like if Triple H was in the alliance, that he would have took that spot. Triple H would definitely been the leader of the alliance.
That is a good theory. That is a good take. That would have been crazy.
Cold would have definitely been the head of the WWF. He definitely would have been that Stone Cold, beer drinking, ass kicking. You know who Stone Cold is. I know who's that. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my people. They made the Undisputed Championship because of the WCW and the WWE title, which Chris Jericho became. That's why I think Chris Jericho became like top tier.
After that moment,
like for example,
because honestly, I remember that weekend.
Yeah,
when you saw the individuals involved, it was
Stone Cold, The Rock, Chris Jericho, and who was the last person?
Kurt Angle. Yeah, it was Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, and then there was a Rock versus Chris Jericho, and whoever won those matches would meet at the end. And when you looked at those original four, the last person, even as a kid, the last person I predicted was Jericho. I thought it was either going to be Rock or Austin.
He was the first ever Undisputed, so you got to give him like GOAT status for that. After the Alliance situation, and I don't think it was, wrestling was the same after that.
Now, if you would pick 5, like top 5.
All right, you go first with that.
Me? It comes now as far as top 5.
Yeah.
Very difficult to pinpoint. Very difficult to put down. I got my 5 though.
Yeah.
My number 1 might shock people. My number 1 is not
5 down.
Yeah, but my number 1 might not be the number ones that y'all be thinking. But
cool. That's your opinion.
My number 5 is Kurt Angle.
Okay.
The Olympic hero.
Yeah.
They put every belt that they had at the time on him in his first year.
Yeah.
Held it down for years. You could go to any match that Kurt has had with his legitimacy. His matches are amazing.
Yeah, Kurt
crazy.
Really, I can't be mad at him. He was King of the Ring champion. I think when he won King of the Ring, that's when he became goated. Like that's when he started people started, because every superstar has a match or like a situation that happened that got them goated.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? And Kurt Angle, when he won the King of the Ring, like he really started. He won every title, like he said. Not a lot of guys did that. Kurt Angle, he's a great wrestler, bro. Like he's a great wrestler, a great mic person. Like
hilarious. Oh God!
I think he changed so many times too. Like when he came in, he was like so like well spoken, and then he became like he can just adjust to anything. He was so good. And
once he became bald, he became like relentless. This like crazy wrestler, beat everybody up kind of dude.
A great
crazy
pick. I think, yeah, Kurt Angle, yeah, he's tough. I can't even be mad at that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, but like how you said, he's definitely also good on the mic. Very entertaining. Like he's so funny. Like when he had his rivalry, at one point in time he had a rivalry with Shawn Michaels, right? And he came out singing Shawn Michaels' theme song, but for himself. So Kurt Angle was like, I'm just a sexy Kurt. I'll make your ankle hurt.
Yeah, he just
Kurt
knew how
funny.
to change
He's
it
so
up.
funny.
Like, he knew how to adjust himself to other people. He was good. He was very good.
My number 4, The Game. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H.
Triple H, man.
The Game, yes.
Triple H.
Long career.
Damn, Triple H.
My guy is what, a 15-time world champion? One shy away from he'll never tie Ric Flair. Like he'll never, cause like he has so much stock in the business. He'll never write himself to beat Ric Flair. He wouldn't do that. But as far as a character, Triple H, the GOAT, different timelines from his time in DX, when he took over the whole company with the boss's daughter by his side, the way like they'll never do a storyline like that this day. The way he got Stephanie Sauce passenger seat of the car, finessed the marriage, they'll never do that on TV today. Never.
Stephanie McMahon from Test, it was crazy.
Yo, Test.
He stole Test's girl. Like, it was so fire, guys.
And that turn was so crazy because, like, Triple H, like, all right, so later on they have a match, Triple H and Vince, because Vince was going to fight for Stephanie, for her honor, whatever the hell. Triple H raised a sledgehammer over Vince. Stephanie's like, don't hit him. And then out of nowhere, it slowly turned into a grin. And she got up and she hugged Triple H. And my 9-year-old heart sunk. I'm like, oh, she really turned to her own dad. See, wrestling, but yeah, he's right, yo.
Triple H?
He's right, yo. They won't do a storyline like that today.
I used to spit in the hallways in 6th grade. Spit water in the hallways.
The water.
Like, he was crazy. Like, I got in so much trouble spitting water because I thought I was Triple H. Like,
spitting water. I got so much trouble doing the suck it signs.
Suck it sign.
Oh my god, yo.
Like, that's before the spitting the water. Triple H was saying suck it DX. He was the leader of DX. Like, he was nuts, bro. He was fucking
insane.
Like, Triple H, if you ever watch this, bro, like you
Triple H, the GOAT. What?
You was something special.
Triple H, the GOAT. My number 3. My number 3 is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Number 3.
Number 3.
I don't like you right now, bro. We're not looking eye to eye.
I knew it.
Holy shit.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, face of WWF at the time. Attitude Era, face of wrestling. Very something like whenever you see Stone Cold, you think pro wrestling. When you think of pro wrestling, you think of Stone Cold. I'm not gonna judge Stone Cold and like the fact that he came back to wrestle this year, like being mad old doing it. But looking back, right? I know it's crazy that I said that Stone Cold's number 3. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Wonderful character. Quotables, shirts, chants, beard, the whole 9.
He is wrestling.
Stone Cold Stunner, one of the most over finishers ever. But the discussion is top 5 wrestlers. Go back and watch a match that Stone Cold was in. The second he became Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Very over character, but his body was beat up by then. Knees was done, neck was done. But okay, so before he became Stone Cold, he did his wrestling and everything in WCW and all that. Wonderful wrestler.
Beginning.
Yes. Yeah. By the time he became Stone Cold Steve Austin, messed up his knees, had that match with Owen Hart, messed up his neck. Go back and watch his matches. His moves, he only did punches, stomps, maybe the occasional suplex. And then a stunner every now and then. He barely wrestled and he barely took moves because his body was that beat up. He barely took moves. That's why he always won. That's why he was always goated, because he couldn't lose because his body couldn't take that. On some real, even though wrestling's fake, you still feel it when you get tossed around.
He's getting real technical, which is fine.
The discussion was top 5 wrestlers.
Yeah. It's very.
Discuss the top 5 wrestlers.
Scenes, which is fine. I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah, I did kind of use that as a leverage. Yeah, you're right. I use that as leverage.
Though, because you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So that's like a advantage for you. So I get it. I definitely understand. Understand. Do I agree? But I understand where you're coming from because that matters. That definitely helped his argument. I get it.
And it sucks for me to put Stone Cold as number 3. It hurts my heart to put Stone Cold as number 3.
Yeah. That's tough. That's hurting me, bro. I'm just looking like, damn.
My number 2 might hurt y'all even more. My number 2 is The Rock. My number 2 is the Brahma Bull. If you smell GOAT, crazy matches, the look on his face is like, who the f is your number 1?
Who's number 1?
Who's your number 1?
You better not say nothing crazy. But
let me finish my number 2 while I rock my number 2.
All right, bet.
The Brahma Bull, Dwayne Johnson.
Damn, that man, like...
He's been in more movies than he's probably been in main events, if you do the math. But The Rock, the GOAT, the people's champ, how can I not have him in a high rank? The only reason why I put him before Stone Cold, let's take ourselves back to childhood.
You think he's really better than Triple H?
The Rock?
It doesn't matter if you think he's better than Triple H. Like, he's really the GOAT.
I walked right into it.
He's really the GOAT. Like, The Rock is really it. Like, he's woo.
You smell The Rock is cooking. Every move, everything that he did was over.
I think I know he did.
Everything that The Rock ever did, the crowd loved it. His finish, The Rock bottom the people's elbow, whenever he would raise the people's eyebrow, whenever he took to the mic, whenever he would hike. Yo, to this day, the funniest promo is right after Billy Gunn won the Royal Rumble. Right after Billy Gunn won the King of the Ring. He made it seem so insignificant, like nobody gave a damn. The next night on Raw, The Rock came out. He cuts a promo on Billy. He starts acting like God. The Rock goes, Billy Gunn, you pray to God every night, wishing that you could be like The Rock. Billy Gunn looks to the sky. He starts praying to God. God looks down. Bob. But my name's Billy. It doesn't matter. Yo, Facts. The Rock.
That was crazy when he did that. Billy.
He buried Billy Gunn in one promo. After that, Billy Gunn didn't even sniff the world title. Because usually, whoever wins the King of the Ring get the shot at the belt. They didn't even give it on Billy Gunn that. When it comes to The Rock, man, so many great moments. So many great rivalries. Of course, his beef with Stone Cold. That is a timeless rivalry in the history of wrestling. But The Rock is the GOAT. I could go on all day about The Rock. But here's my number 2. I guess it's time to say what my number 1 is.
I know you're going to say 2.
Who you think I'm going to say number 1?
I don't want to be wrong, though.
I mean, you might as well guess.
I think
it ain't Hogan.
I know it's not Hogan.
I think
you're going to say Shawn Michaels.
It ain't Shawn.
If not,
that's crazy.
I thought he was gonna say Shawn Michaels.
It's not. What a guess! What a wonderful guess.
I thought he was gonna say Shawn Michaels.
It's not Shawn Michaels. It's not Shawn Michaels.
It's not Hogan. It's not Shawn Michaels. Damn. Bret Hart?
No. I can't stand Bret Hart. I respect the Bret Hart. I can't stand Bret Hart. Bret Hart is
not
diva.
Shawn Michaels. Undertaker?
Nah, yo. The Undertaker is a wonderful persona. Nah. Undertaker is probably my top 10, not top 5. My number 1 pick.
You better not say that crazy.
Is Brock Lesnar.
Alright, I'm out of here, guys. He did not say him. He did not say him.
My number 1 pick is Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
Multiple time world champion.
What? Brock Lesnar?
It doesn't matter what year it was. Every match that Brock Lesnar has ever been in felt important. Doesn't matter what time. Every match he's had felt important.
He said
Brock
Lesnar.
He's legitimate. That means outside of wrestling, he'll still kick your ass.
Oh.
Brock Lesnar.
Pull that card. Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
The F5. Somebody might might mess around and kick out of 2 stunners, 2 rock bottoms.
The F5 was
three F5s. Nobody's kicking out of that unless you name Roman Reigns and they book you like that. But he don't know about Roman.
I didn't think he was gonna say Brock Lesnar.
Brock
Definitely not
Lesnar, Mr. F5. What?
He's definitely not my top 5.
My
Goldberg better
boy
than Brock. Goldberg better than Brock, and Goldberg is better than Brock. I'm mad as shit. He said Brock though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, after honestly.
Oh man, like. These guys?
After I had the nerve to say that that Stone Cold was my number 3, I knew that he was gonna flip. I knew it. Like the second
bro. My top 5 was tough for me. He said Kurt Angle. He was definitely in the fights for it. I had to give it to the Undertaker. You know, the American Badass. That we had the, Ministry of Darkness. That's what he call it.
Yup. He had gang with him. Like
it was a lot of stuff going on with him. Like he was different. Like, I just felt like he brought so much to the culture. He brought different personas. He was a wrestler. When the Undertaker came out, people was paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Undertaker was like the fact that he was able to switch his roles and become the American Badass. That was tough to me. And it wasn't boring. See, one thing about changing who you are as a wrestler.
Yeah, it's like a repackage.
It wasn't trash though. Him being the American Badass, like it was tough. The last ride, he still had his old wrestling moves.
He was able to talk more.
He talked more. It wasn't like he was all scary and weird. Like he was tough. Like that last ride, one of the best finishers of all time. Like he was nuts.
The last ride.
Like that.
The last ride.
Like he was crazy. So like I'm just so happy that he was able to transition and still be good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put him at number 5 over Kurt Angle. I was going to say Kurt Angle, but I just felt like Kurt Angle was just Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
The Undertaker was. He did multiple situations, and he was just, 10 times. What was he? Undefeated in WrestleMania. He just lost recently, right?
Yeah, yo. Actually, my number 1 pick. He's the one that ended the streak. Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker.
What was he? He was like.
He was 21-0.
He was 21-0 in WrestleMania.
Yes.
Like
21 years straight. No losing.
No losses.
I mean, not 21 years straight, but 21 dubs, no losses.
Yeah, he was tough. Like Undertaker was tough. Okay, my number 4.
Jeff Hardy?
Don't play me like that. He's top 5 tag teams.
Honestly,
he's top 5 tag teams.
Wait. Yo, honestly, like how my bro said, he stopped around the Alliance era. If I went through a list of people who became world champion after he stopped, he wouldn't even believe me.
I already know the situation. Like these guys that won, like Edge and those guys are not The Rock, Stone Cold, those guys. They like, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to move. It's to the point where they had to move somebody up.
I know there's like a whole era of wrestling fans that met Edge during the time he was already like a top tier talent in WWE. But once upon a time, where guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, Mankind. Those guys were just running the company, and they had their respective talent in their respective divisions. You had people who fought for the WWF title, people who fought for the Intercontinental
European,
and then you had the tag team guys. Yeah. Edge was a tag team guy. With
Edge, let me tell you, because let's talk about that.
They would have never put Edge in
Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, those two guys was banging for that spot, right? Edge and Christian came out of nowhere, to me, in my opinion.
Out of nowhere.
What I mean by came out of nowhere, because you know the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, they was solidified tag teams, right?
But the Brew was before both of them, and it was in the Brew. Remember the Brew?
Yeah, but like Edge and Christian, when they started doing them ladder matches, table ladders and chairs matches,
5-second pole.
They was crazy, like spear off the top of the
Edge spearing Jeff Hardy.
Oh, Jeff Hardy was so good, bro. Like Jeff Hardy, you was the man, bro. Like the way you used to sell moves, the way you used to do your moves.
To say at the time we're recording, I'm about to say, yeah, shout out to AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Jeff Hardy's fighting tonight. Jeff Hardy probably fighting right now. Like the Hardys, they still going hard to this day. It's so crazy. Like whenever I see Jeff do a Swanton in 2021, I'm like, bro, your back has got to be done. You've been doing that move for 20 years, bro.
Off the top of the cage, off the top of the ladders, he just falling on people. It was nuts. My number 4 is Hunter Harris Helmsley. Triple H. I think that was your number 4 too, right? Yeah. Was that your number 4? Triple H.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hearst. I said Harris. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter Harris.
Triple H was just that guy you wanted to hate, bro. Like he was so tough. He was just that guy you wanted to hate. Like I said, even with the Alliance, he was hurt. But I know for a fact if he was part of it, he would have been the leader of WCW and ECW. I already know that for a fact. Like I'm not even questioning it. He was that guy you wanted to hate, but you respected. Like he just knew how to get it done.
Man over Stone Cold. Tried to put it on Rikishi.
Word. Like Triple H was really, he tried to kill my boy. Like he tried to
take him out the game.
Like, Triple H was just so tough. He was 15-time champion, 14 times.
Yeah.
He was so good. He always had the title.
Oh my god.
Like he just always had a gang with him. Like you couldn't mess with him. Like he was.
That's true. From DX to Evolution, he was never alone.
Like he was just always that dude, like that bad guy, you know. So. Yeah, number 4 is Triple H. Yo, I gotta give it to Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hulk Hogan was old when I was 11 years old.
You broke my heart, motherfucker. I'll never forget that TMZ shit.
But let me tell you, Hollywood Hogan, what TMZ thing?
He was pillow talking and he said the N-word.
Oh, shit.
Motherfucker.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan, I started off as a WCW guy. Little backstory. My parents didn't want me to watch WWF because it was just too much. And WCW was a little cleaner.
Is that how you ended up watching WCW?
I ended up watching WCW first because it was cleaner. It was too much. That's why I probably don't give my flowers to Shawn Michaels and people like that because I was a WCW guy first. And when I was watching WCW, Hollywood Hulk Hogan was the man. He ran NWO. He ran WCW. He had Dennis Rodman in an NWO jersey. He was so tough. Hollywood Hulk Hogan was the OG of the NWO. There was a gang of 50 dudes trashing people. He was nuts. Like
he had a whole pyramid underneath him. Like
Hollywood Hogan was the great.
The NWO had mad members, but yeah, Hogan was the leader. Hogan was the cap. Yeah, Hogan was captain.
I am a real American. Fight for your right of every line. Like he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan was the NWO version. Well, Hulkamania, that was the real Hulk Hogan. And he is wrestling. He was on all the commercials. He was the one that created The Rock. He created those guys because he was the one that started it all. He was the first superstar wrestler.
He was the first superstar.
He was the first, and I think he came in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. He was the first superstar wrestler. He did damn near every era, bro. Like he fought for so long. That running leg drop, that suplex when he suplexed Andre the Giant, like it was legendary. If you don't know who Hulk Hogan is, then you don't know wrestling. He's number 3 for a reason, but he's the reason why you have the NWO. He's the reason why you have the Wolfpack. He's the reason why wrestling is what it is today. He is wrestling.
Shut up, dog.
He is wrestling, guys. That's what it is. And I'm not taking it back. There were so many good wrestlers, but Hogan is the wrestler. He is wrestling. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Exactly, right? So we know who his number 1 is. The Brahma Bull, the great one.
The Rock says, yo, The Rock to me, bro, everything to wrestling, bro. Like, the only reason that Rock's not number 1 to me is because he took that time off and like he started doing movies.
Dipped off to Hollywood.
He dipped off to Hollywood. Like, if he stayed in wrestling, like, The Rock will be everything to me. If The Rock is coming back to the WWE, everybody had to stop, turn off what they're doing, and watch it. Like, it was crazy. This is before social media. This is before Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff. The Rock was the man, bro.
And I can see him coming back for another run. I can see The Rock coming back at least for one more. Yeah. You got to give us one more run, Rock, while you still... I mean, I know you just turned 50, but you can still go.
I don't see The Rock coming back. I don't want him to come back. And the reason why, because it's like, I don't want that last impression. I just want The Rock to be The Rock. Mm-hmm. They even call him Dwayne Johnson now. They won't call him The Rock.
Yeah. Like, at first, when he first started acting, they was calling him Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but they don't even call him The Rock no more.
It's The Rock. People's eyebrow. He had the shorties. He had the chick. I wanted to be The Rock. I wanted my haircut like him. I wanted the $1,200
shirt, the
like,
silky joint.
When he put that belt over his head,
yo,
like
he had the swag, yo. When he would come out and hold up the belt, because everybody had their little special way of holding up the belt. The Rock would just throw that shit over his shoulder.
Now, mind you, I don't want to put race into it.
Just smell everybody.
Like, I don't want to put race into
it. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that, though. I was waiting for that.
It's the only
representation.
He made me, and this is before social media and all. I wanted to be The Rock. Mm-hmm. He was that guy. Like,
to be honest, that's what he high key got black kids into wrestling.
Yo,
The Rock.
Number 1. I think you already know who my number 1 is.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, man. This guy, man. I feel like this man gave me that don't give a crap attitude. Like, be yourself. Stone Cold Steve Austin. When that glass shattered, the roof is off the arena. When that glass shattered, that
to this day,
is off the arena, man.
To this day.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, he was a wrestler. Like, he was a brawler. I was watching a video on him. And he's talking shit. Like, he's walking down talking shit. And the guy said, Stone Cold, what are you talking? Who are you talking to? He said, man, I'm the baddest motherfucker out here. Ain't nobody gonna tell me shit. And he's talking to himself. Like, that's how I feel. Stone Cold was my hero, bro. Like, he was really my hero. Mm-hmm. Like, he drank the beers. He did not care, bro. Like, and he just made it seem like, yo, Stone Cold, that Stone Cold stunner hit you, you're done.
You're done.
Speaking of The Rock, like, Stone Cold and The Rock matches, man, number 1 versus number 2, like, those guys used to be special, bro. When that glass shatter, just know that all hell's about to break loose. He didn't care if he was Kane. He didn't care if he was Undertaker, Goldust. He didn't care who you was. All them freaky
Goldust.
All them freaky weird dudes, he would trash you. He didn't care.
two steps.
You. And like, he would come in, like, and you know what? You know the best thing about Stone Cold I like? Vince McMahon hated him. McMahon hated. That's the owner. He hated him, and he did not give a crap.
Oh my God, that story carried the company for the rest of time.
Yo, he beat the bricks off Vince McMahon, and he would put
every chance he get,
like,
every chance he get.
Was everything.
He hated Vince McMahon. He hated Vince McMahon. Like, he hated Vince the most. Like,
he didn't care about nobody. Yo. And I swear, bro. I remember when I was a WCW guy, I wanted to see
Goldberg versus Stone Cold.
I wanted to see that so bad.
Bald head, black trunks. You can't help but, like,
Yeah.
Even aesthetically, you can't help but put them two together.
Right.
So like, as a kid, even though even as a kid, like back on the like wrestling games and all that, when I had No Mercy, I would make Goldberg. And then when I had, I think they had Mayhem or whatever WCW had, I would make Austin. Yeah. I wanted them two to fight so bad. Yo. And the only time they crossed paths is when Brock Lesnar and Goldberg had that match. Stone Cold was a special guest referee, and at the end of the match, he stunned Goldberg. That's the only interaction they've ever had. And I always wanted to see them fight, and we never got that. Guys, we never got that,
Stone Cold, like, he was so badass, bro.
Imagine a spear getting reversed into a stunner somehow. Like Goldberg trying to hit Austin with the spear, but then Austin just kicks him in the face to catch him with the stunner. What?
My hero, bro. Like Austin, like he was really goated, bro. Like I can't even
to this day still.
And it's funny because like I don't watch wrestling anymore, and I was talking to Isaiah about this.
That guy.
I don't. Austin 316, man. Austin 316, and I always tell people like I watch Stone Cold and I watch wrestling and like I watch WCW. I've seen it. I've seen the guys in WCW, the Booker T's, Goldbergs, the Stings, those guys, Diamond Dallas Pages, those guys. Some of those guys I named were like honorable mention. You know what I'm saying? But it will never be Stone Cold Steve Austin, bro. Like never. As great as The Rock was, as great as Hollywood Hogan was, Icon versus it would never be Stone Cold, bro. Stone
to
Cold
this
was
day,
one of a kind.
To this day, there's never been. There's never been a star as big as Stone Cold. He bridged the gap between pro wrestling and pop culture, media. We saw Stone Cold pop up in other TV shows and stuff like that.
And,
they don't do stuff like that.
The thing about it with Stone Cold, he was always himself. He didn't change. It's like, The Rock had to change. The only change I think Stone Cold did do was when he became the Alliance.
I'm about to say that Alliance shit is the only time.
What? I kind of hated that shit.
Yo, listen.
I'm not going to lie to you. I hated that shit.
I hate What Chance.
Yeah, that What shit. Like,
I hate What Chance.
It was funny a little bit. I'm not going to hold you. It was funny a little bit.
I hate What Chance.
But I can tell it happened by accident and they just ran with it.
And they just ran with it because the crowd keeps reacting to it. And the funny thing is, bro, 20 some odd years later, they still do One Chance. And it's the worst because it could mess up somebody's character. It could mess up somebody's promo. The crowd is just getting themselves over. Yeah. They want the people to be, they want themselves to be acknowledged on TV. Yeah. So every single time somebody cut a promo now, every single time, it doesn't matter who you are, bro. Every single time somebody cut a promo and that little gap of silence, the crowd goes, what? Yeah. What? It's been 20 years, y'all. Let that shit go.
But it's funny because he's goated. Like, even with that, like, even that's the worst Stone Cold they gave us. And like,
honestly, what Stone Cold was the worst version of Stone Cold, but it's still Stone Cold.
It was Stone Cold. Like,
it was still Stone Cold.
Was still goated. Like, even with it when he was the leader of the Alliance and all that shit, which I told him if Triple H was there, Triple H would definitely have been it.
That's such an awesome take, yo. Yeah. To me, honestly, that's still such an awesome take, yo.
But like,
wow.
Yeah, man, Stone Cold, bro. Like, he was it. Top 5, like, again, Undertaker, Triple H, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and the stunning Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are my top 5.
And for me, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and Brock Lesnar. Thank you for joining us, y'all. You see speed? I said Brock again. Hey, look. Look, thank you for joining us again, y'all. Henny Hardaway coming through. 2 episodes out the park. And thank you for coming to the channel once again. And if you haven't already, goddamn it, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, turn the notifications on. Engage, y'all. Until next time, peace.